The concept of Nietzsche's Zarathustra's gateway vision, as opposed to Zarathustra's death visions, is a metaphor for the emergency of Ulmer's avatar. Heidegger writes of Nietzsche about the eternal return, and our world, or Kora, will occur an infinite number of times, is promising to the rise of avatar and electricity. This emergence of the moment, the opening of the dromospheric now, allows for the emergent avatar to make a stand, to witness the opening of the Kora, the sacred space of the avatar. The open is Heidegger's empty space, which is required to keep life in play, and play is one of the institutions of electricity. Zarathustra, or Zoroaster, the founder of Zoroastrians, an ancient Persian religion, was reimagined by Nietzsche as the one who turned morality on its head, the transvaluation of values. Through Nietzsche's parable of the death of God, Zarathustra rejects the asceticism of Western thought, Christianity an institution of morality, and says yes to his own life, the emergence of the self in literacy, thus giving rise to possess a moment of pure happiness, the gay science. In Zarathustra, Nietzsche also gives birth to the prophecy of the Übermensch, the one who succeeds God, as the creator of new values. Because of the prophecy of the Übermensch, nihilism cannot prevail. The emergence of the avatar can be viewed as the Übermensch who manifests and descends into the electric world. Ulmer has described the idea of the daemon within this chapter as well. In order to better understand the daemon, it is important to know the root of the word. It comes from the Greek daemon, which refers to benevolent nature spirits. These spirits were something in between divine and mortal. Throughout history, these daemons can be summarized as being guiding spirits or a guardian angel. However, in contemporary psychology, daemon refers to the natural human impulse to perpetuate the self. In addition, it is described as genius. The notion came from the evolution of the daemon from something that existed outside of the body to a force within oneself that served for inspiration. Ulmer explains that this idea reached culmination in the romantic notion of talent and individual genius in some area. Ulmer continues to explain that the daemon causes an inner split between the physical body and the virtual body. The virtual body is essentially imagination, and a dialogue between the two is what is described as consciousness. According to Ulmer, neuroscience claims that this split between the two bodies is what allows for decision-making, thus revealing its relevance to flash reasoning. The split allows for inspiration, for moments of genius that allows for people to make decisions. Like daemons who were caught between mortals and gods, we are caught between our imagination and our physical bodies. Our being is split, and that split allows us to be in the moment and make quickly reasoned decisions, which are so important in our electric world. This flash region, attainable through our daemon, becomes, as Ulmer states, practical as a general electricity only within the digital apparatus. This is because the apparatus allows us to receive signals from a voice of our daemon or genius. This requires a technical prosthesis. Wit can be considered a synonym for flash region within an electric apparatus. Ulmer makes the analogy that wit is to electricity as commonplaces is to literacy. Traditionally, commonplace was a very specific type of essay, and the purpose was to define and either laud or defame a vice or a virtue. Crossing the threshold is another analogy that Ulmer uses to describe the moment of decision. He gives the example of Socrates' day of trial. Upon leaving the home, Socrates paused at the threshold to consult the daemon. Due to the fact that Socrates was already so far in becoming literate, the lack of response meant that he should continue without deviation in his plans. Today, the point for us, as Ulmer states, is the coexistence of dialectic and mantic practices. The functionality of our electric moment is to give users access to his voice, which is drowned out by the crowd and the masses. The genius or wit is silenced by the razzle and dazzle components of the popular voice that do not really matter. Building on Nietzsche's idea of the eternal return, Ulmer states that his fundamental point is that we are not given being in advance, we only become what we are. And it is through our avatars that we do this. During literacy, being was achieved only through writing, but now in electricity this can be achieved within digital media. He builds on this by explaining that during flash reason a division of ourselves occurs. The recognition of this division or split is a moment of wisdom where we counter ourself. But many believe that it is impossible for us to be present in the moment. In order to work in this new world, then, a new approach to how we make decisions must be created. Nietzsche addresses by abandoning the question of judging appearance and reality, concerns of the Christian area, and simply accepted his life. This acceptance of a new criteria represents a major shift as we move away from the literate axis of true and false to the electric axis of pleasure and pain. So what does this mean? For Nietzsche it meant saying yes. Yes to the sensory enjoyment he experienced, and even yes to the feeling of enjoyment. He illustrated this in 3 yeses. Yes to his statement, yes to its agreeableness of of its aesthetic, and yes to the agreeable feeling itself. This third yes is the determinant of the new access. Our judgments may become to be based on the sensations of pleasure/pain we feel. Through electricity and images, these yeses will become our new judgment criteria. This new access represents a large shift or division within us which may result in changes in our thoughts, behaviors, even how we consider ourselves. In conclusion, I'd like to reference an artifact of popular entertainment where public knowledge formation can said to occur. Disney's Hercules incorporates elements of Greek mythology into its narrative, including the Fates, three sisters who control the destinies of mortals. Ulmer contrasts the notion of daemons as that which possesses/shapes a person's life with Spinoza's contactus, meaning striving or the instincts for self-preservation. Hercules defies the Fates and Hades, who conspired to keep him away from the captured soul of his beloved Megara. We can see him Lorca's duende, the autonomous value of life that is fundamentally connected not to the individuals but to the community, something Hercules, the demigod, learns through his adventures in the mortal world. Kingdom of Hearts is a video game featuring characters from a lot of Disney movies. Among other franchises here is Hades and Hercules. Crossing the threshold into the underworld, one of the game's levels. I feel Kingdom of Hearts embodies a certain core in that it could only come to exist as a compilation of cultural values, the Disney canon, taken into a new medium in Kingdom Hearts, where there is now a player who controls an avatar named Sora, provides a new degree of agency. Sora is a boy with two parts to himself, the person he is and his nobody, an individual unto itself which lacerates off from him and takes the name of Roxas. Sora thinks that nobodies are his enemies, but it is only by being presented with the alternate perspective of Roxas that he and the player are able to come to a greater understanding of their purpose, to defend Kingdom Hearts, the world of pure light that exists at the nexus of all worlds.